Move on to our next story. Do y'all know who Reverend Annie is? Are y'all familiar with Reverend Annie? Reverend Annie is a current Black Panther. A current Black Panther who was around for all of the extra shit. All of the shit that the stuff that got people assassinated. Reverend Annie was there for.
Black Panther.
Now, what you're gonna see right here is an interview between Steve from Slow News Day, made the Jimmy Show, a tweet where Glory is reminding people of the conversation between Steve and Annie. And it's a great day whenever you see Glory and Steve, the whole Slow News Day crew on Jimmy's show. And we're gonna be talking about the Black Panthers and unity. On top of that, you can't really get much better than that conversation. I'm very thankful for Reverend Annie coming on and telling this story. And we're gonna let Miss Annie do her thing. Actually, I don't need to see my ugly face.
Reverend Annie Chambers, and she's talking about a time in Las Vegas when they joined hands with the KKK because the governor had stopped all welfare checks to poor blacks, whites, and anybody else who was poor. It was a class issue, and here's how she describes it.
And I don't know whether I told you about the story of me and the Ku Klux Klans, but they just as bad off as we is. And somebody shake them and say, hey, look, you ain't got a damn thing either. I don't need you to like me as an individual if you want to, but your ass starving too. When we was in Las Vegas, was in Nevada, Reverend, the governor cut off the checks for everybody. So the Klansmen weren't getting no welfare checks either. And they were trying to figure out, and we were over there, the other group of us over there talking about what we gonna do. I said, why y'all ain't got them people over there? They said, don't know them, the Klan. I went over there and they asked me, say, when I walked in the church and whoever he was, the man standing up front, I don't know whether he was a minister or not, but he said the N-word, what you want, nigga? I said the same damn thing you want, a check. I don't need you to like me, but you ain't gonna get no damn check if I don't get one. And along with the Ku Klux Klans, and this is, in right now, they got it in the library. Me and the Grand Dragon standing hand in hand, out there fighting for a check, because his people was starving too. And see, when people understand that we have to stand up as a workers' movement. See,
you better stop. You better stop. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all ask these white progressives out here, these white neo-progressives, white saviors with the white savior complex that attack people of color for saying, unfortunately, we don't get the privilege of picking and choosing who our allies are. We gotta, like, we 13% of the population, bro. I don't know what you think this is. Like, we're not like y'all. We can't just pretend like everything is all good because you're not gonna be killed for looking like you or being treated differently just for looking like you. It's easy to tell black people who they should and should not temporarily ally with when you ain't gotta deal with other black people's problems, right? So if you let them tell it, well, ladies and gentlemen, obviously there's only one conclusion that can be drawn. Reverend Annie is actually secretly a neo-Nazi sympathizer. That's I mean, that's got to be the conclusion, right? That's what I was told. I was told that if you support any type of effort unification with people you disagree with for a common alliance over even just one common goal, that you're a white supremacist. So apparently Black Panthers and Reverend Annie are actually white supremacist sympathizers. I don't know what else am I supposed to say to that? Oh yeah, that's right. They're full of shit. There's a Black Panther telling you now. A Black Panther. A Black Panther is telling you, yo, sometimes you got to put your beef to the side and get the job done. Sometimes you got to put the beef to the side, get the job done. There are some issues that are more important than your ego. And once again, as you can see, Reverend Annie is one of those type of people who she's not scared of anybody. And if you remember, I was joking the other day, like the people who are afraid to talk to the other side are just punk asses, actually. That's their issue. That's their issue. It's not that they care. I'm just so afraid of you talking to the other side. I'm worried that you are too inferior and you can be easily co-opted. That's what I'm worried about. I'm just looking out for you. No, you're not. No, you're not. You're virtue signaling. You're clout chasing. You're denigrating you're denigrating the brilliance of Black people who have been able to separate for throughout history anyway. Okay, these people may not always be my ally, but we can ally right now. It's almost like when you're on Team USA basketball, you got a bunch of rival superstars all gathering together for one unified goal of showing the rest of the world America may suck at everything else, but we're going to light your ass up on the basketball court. God damn. We're going to beat you. And sometimes you got to do that. We might disagree at everything else. You might think we're horrible in any other aspect, politically or socially. We might feel the same way about you, but hey, man, they got bigger guns. They got more money. And they're treating both of us like shit. So like, wouldn't you rather just have to deal with each other rather than them? Yeah, that's a good idea. And Reverend Annie also agrees. It's a good idea. Let's go ahead and check out the rest of that clip.
You know, I told him, I said, you may not like me. I don't care whether your son marry my daughter or my daughter marry your son or my son marry your daughter. All I want right now is a damn welfare check. We have to fight together. We closed down the strip. We closed down the casinos. We let the children run wild. We went in there and ordered food and told them charge it to the governor. We had shop-ins in the store and we took and walked out with the products and told them the governor pay for it. Because they locked us up with too many people in jail. They didn't have no room.
So that's kind of fascinating. I mean, that's kind of the coming together with...
By the way, Daryl Davis, I'm going to let her play a little bit more. Daryl Davis is actually the man, the musician actually, who like is known for converting former members of the KKK. Like if they were part of KKK, they would meet Mr. Davis and they would like, what the hell? I was wrong. My bad. Yeah. So listen to what he got to say about it.
Common interest, even Black people coming together with the Klan because they recognize a common interest against the government. That's kind
exactly.
of... Go ahead.
And we saw that same scenario back in May of last year. Okay, listen. In the civil rights movement, starting, let's say, in 1955 with Rosa Parks, and on through the 1960s with Dr. King, all the marches and protests and boycotts and sit-ins, etc. It's been predominantly Black people, but we've always had a smattering, if you will, of white people who saw the vision and they joined in with us and marched with us. A small amount, but important, equally so. The powers that be, which is a polite way of saying the white power structure, when they look at those marches back then, all they see is a sea of Black people and just a few people who look like them. So they plug their ears, they don't listen, and they shut us down. And so progress moves very slowly. But during the pandemic of our last year, people could not go to work. Their businesses were shut down. And they were on lockdown in their homes. So what did they do? They were like, surfing the internet. They were watching TV, And what do they see? They see a murder happening live on their screen that was taken 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And now we see this, we as in black people see this all the time. But white people were seeing it for the first time, or many of them were. And they're like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my goodness, I gotta do something. And despite the health risk to them during this pandemic, they got up out of their homes and went into the streets and marched with us. And now the powers that be, looking at those marches, they're seeing almost as many white people as they're seeing black people.
Hot damn Bojangles. So you trying to tell me, in actuality, Mr. Daryl Davis and Black Panther Reverend Annie, are secretly both Nazis?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. It's tripping.
That's y'all ridiculous. Understand, the establishment can only thrive if we are divided. Like, make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not like I won't say I'm not. I'm a confrontational person. I'm a chill person, but I'm confrontational. In other words, if I feel like I've been disrespected, if I feel like you are a quote unquote enemy, then I will treat you as such. However, I'm also a pragmatist and I'm also a realist. Just because you get on my nerves in one instance doesn't mean I won't need your help in another. Also, I am intelligent enough. I know, once again, these white neo-progressives think that us black people are just fucking stupid. We don't know how to take care of ourselves. No. I'm intelligent enough to dichotomize where I agree with somebody and where I disagree with somebody. I know, hard to believe, but I can. Mr. Daryl Davis can. Black Panther, Reverend Annie can. Clearly the KKK could too. And yet I constantly see people attacking Jimmy, Fiorella, Pasta, myself. I saw some people even going at Breonna Joy Gray, Justin Jackson, the football player, telling us, how dare you want to reach common ground with the other side of this, equation if you're not a leftist. Maybe that person doesn't call themselves a socialist. You can't talk to them. Hold up, what? Y'all know these words don't really mean anything, right? Like, at the end of the day, all these labels don't mean shit. What does being a quote unquote democratic socialist mean if you're going to vote for and support candidates who push the war machine anyway, who engage in crony capitalism anyway, who allow corporations and lobbying groups to influence their decision making? And if they don't allow like the corporations to do it, they still buckle under the pressure from the politicians that are allowing the corporations and lobbying groups to influence their decisions. So what's the point of calling yourself a democratic socialist if you're going to do just a bunch of capitalist, imperialist shit? Right? It's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just because they don't call themselves socialists, I don't really care what they call themselves. What I care about is the fact, like, so for example, with the Boogaloo Boys, like he talked about in the Jimmy interview, like he talked about in the Convo Couch interview, Mr. Magnus said that the negative attention, at first everybody was ignoring them, and the negative attention came the moment they decided to join hands with the BLM organization, because there were two major events that had happened that day. Within that 24-hour period or 48-hour period, a young man actually got killed by the cops in Baltimore around the same time Breonna Taylor got killed. And so because the Boogaloo Boys saw similarities within this struggle, they actually went to go protest with and run security for Black Lives Matter. Now, once again, I said this the other day, people, when's the last time you seen somebody like Sam Cedar put his body on the line for BLM? You ain't never in your damn life heard of Sam Cedar, Emma Vigilant, Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, all these people who gaslight you and pretend as if they care about Black lives. When the hell is the last time they put their life on the line for Black life, for them to have any authority or justification of calling anyone else white supremacist? Never and ever. Not once. Have you ever seen Anna Kasparian at a protest? You ever seen Anna Kasparian carrying the Black Lives Matter flag? You ever seen Sam Cedar carrying the Black Lives Matter flag? Yeah, he'll talk shit to the quote unquote police on camera. You gonna put your body in front of the police to protect a black life? Never. Not at once. But I'm supposed to just ignore the lessons and experiences from history and those who have experienced that history. I'm supposed to ignore that because Sam Cedar doesn't like Hawaiian shirts on queer people with big guns protecting black lives. Y'all see why I have an issue with these white knights, these white saviors pretending to know more about what's best for me and my people than we do, when they've done nothing constructively to fix any of these problems. In fact, let's be honest, they're the same ones who turned around and told us to go vote for a goddamn segregationist. Do you really think I think that these people care about our best interests? Hell no. Hell no. That's not true. They don't care, bro. They don't care. All right. So I want to cover one more story. Shout out to Mr. Daryl Davis. Shout out to Reverend Annie. Shout out to Glory. Shout out to Steve. And shout out to Jimmy for talking about this, reaching out to Daryl Davis, bringing him on. That's appreciate you, Jimmy. That's what I'm talking about. Jimmy hears it. He's like, you know what? He heard somebody had uttered that Jimmy doesn't cover issues with black people more often. He didn't go to Cornell West. He didn't go to Nina. He said, you know what? Let me talk to somebody who's done this. Brought in the black guy who's known for converting KKK people to the light, man. You can't do no better than that. Shout out to Jimmy Dore, goddamn.